Welcome to Mascot Madness Bracketology. That's right, we are in the final four. I am pumped, but yet a tear of sadness comes to my eye because it's drawing to a close.
It is. There are 4 teams left. That's it. Everyone else has died, apparently.
They're all dead. Yes, graves everywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody said this was your children's mascot.
This isn't like
thing.
Disney mascot.
No,
this
this is not sponsored by Disney Plus.
brutal matchups. So that's you're sad over the death or sad over this being done, or maybe both.
No, just sad over this being done. I'm not
okay.
sad about their deaths because clearly they didn't deserve to survive.
Okay, Darwin.
Survival of the fittest, am I right?
Is he right?
Clearly I am because everyone else is dead except for these 4 teams.
Yeah. Note, if these are the ones that deserve to survive, there's only one human team left, which not really engendering a lot of hope for us as a species, but also kind of proves my animal bias, right?
It does prove your animal bias, and also does prove that there's no hope for us as a species.
Without handmade implements and weapons.
Right. But some of these people, they had weapons, and yet we're still only down to the Vikings.
It's true.
The Knights and Trojans, Spartans, they had weapons.
They did.
Musketeers, what do you think they were carrying?
I know. At best, I don't disagree with you. Yeah. At
Musketeers
best,
even had guns.
Help us catch up to the other species. They sometimes give us an advantage, but even then, sometimes.
So you're saying weaponless, we would not survive?
In a face-to-face matchup, probably not with most species. Yeah.
You're right. That's true.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Like, which of these teams could we actually destroy with no weapons? Let's just say we had like basic combat training.
Slugs.
You know, we have the ability to throw punches and maybe do some roundhouses.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. The slugs, anteaters, maybe.
Like, we're not going to chokehold a bison.
Blue jays. No, and I don't see the antelope on here. Maybe that's on my list of other species.
That's another one, yeah.
But those are so fast. Although I did read a story about a tribe in Africa.
In one of your books?
In a book, yeah. Who could run down antelope. They developed the ability to run so fast they would just literally chase an antelope until it ran out of energy and died.
I don't believe you. I'll only believe it when I see it on Disney Plus.
That would be make for a good episode.
It would.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Running an antelope to death. Yeah. Anyway, these matchups.
Yeah, let's recap what happened this last week. There were some blowouts, and I guess there was kind of a close call. Not really. We'll talk about each one individually. You can decide whether it was a blowout or not. But it seems like as we're getting closer, people have their favorites. And they're really voting for their favorites to move on.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I'm your host, Matt Reno.
Are you?
This is Kyle Knoll.
What's my title today?
You are back to the head of analytics.
Okay.
Head of analytics. We'll see how I think that's how you always start out, and then you do something during the episode that warrants a title change. So Let's find out. See if he does anything that warrants a title change. But we're going to start with the Bears and Knights. Bears win 36-19 over the Knights. Clearly, Brave was not that accurate. Because in Brave, the Knights beat the Bears. There was a stuffed bear.
Yeah.
The Knights that one Knight turned into a bear.
Yeah.
Disney Plus, in case you haven't seen it.
If I remember, those weren't even necessarily properly knights like in armor things. They were just
they were
warriors of a sort.
Right, yeah, and they still beat the Bears. Yeah. So I was kind of surprised that Disney would lie to us like this.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised a bear won.
It's ground shaking for your worldview, isn't
It is. Yeah. It is. I've really based really this whole quarantine time off of what I've seen on Disney Plus. It's shaped how I thought, how I lived.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was a rough time in the Reno household when I was going through Hostile Planet.
Yeah.
It was really violent in our house. I'm surprised the kids made it out alive. It was shocking.
Surprising.
And then we started watching Unlikely Friends after that. They're like some monkey was a friend with an elephant or something like that. I can only take 5 minutes of that. That was rough. I was like,
So you didn't become a friend with someone else? Unlikely.
I was like, after being so hostile, I should do something nice and start changing my worldview and being that. But it didn't take.
Yeah.
We watched Dolphins for a while. I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for the Bears and Knights, we're going to go to our favorite segment, really our only segment that we have. Draw that match up.
So
what happened?
Here, let me just draw a little bit of scale here. Talking about Bears and Knights, they're both a little bit generic. We've got Bears who, the biggest of them, the Grizzlies, could stand, even when they're hunched over, could stand 4 to 5 feet at the shoulder. So even when they are down on all fours, when you compare that with the knight in armor, who is going to be maybe like
6 feet, maybe
6 feet.
The armor, or do the armor shoes? Do they have like stilettos, or where that makes them a little taller, a little more intimidating? Platform.
Stiletto armored shoes.
Well, you could use it to stab somebody with. You get knocked on your back, boom, kick them with a stiletto heel.
You have a fanciful imagination.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
That is the nicest thing you have ever said to me.
Well, I'm improving then. Yeah. So then you have a grizzly who just, standing on all fours, 4 to 5 feet of the shoulder.
He doesn't have any feet. That could have been his first problem.
That could have been. They're in the ground.
Going against the Bears, you
then
want both your feet.
Stand up, and a grizzly standing up on the hind legs could be anywhere from 7 to 8 feet tall. Then, of course, you include the polar bears, who have their own team here. We'll get to that in a minute. But if you're including all generic bears, it does include polar bears, who could stand anywhere from 9 to 10 to even 11 feet tall. They're on their hind legs. So just looking at that, I think there is a significant advantage. And as much as armor helps knights, it protects them, it also reduces their flexibility, their mobility. Mm-hmm. A bear could just lay on top of a knight for a long period of time and come out victorious.
So how did they end up taking down the Knights? Because we're drawing the matchup.
Yeah.
So you drew the scale of what it would have maybe looked like before they battled.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically what happened a lot with Knights is once they got off their horses, they just became dead weight. Oh. And once they got on ground level with these bears could just knock them over. Knock them over, and then pretty much have their way with them. They have a sword, but the thick bear hide and fat was kind of a defense against that. So knocked the Knights over. Yeah,
I saw the Knights going in. They had a strategy. We're going to go in with our horses, lance the bear, but it really didn't do much to the bear. Knocked the Knight off, and he's like, I'm on the ground. What am I going to do now? Yeah. But as soon as he's on the ground, he was done. It was over. Yeah. It was a decent sized blowout, not as big as one of the other ones we had. That was Draw That Matchup, by the way. And we didn't. I'm not going to be drawing a matchup because from the fans, I heard that my drawing skills were so supreme and amazing. Right. They were like, we need to give Kyle a little bit more time to work on his artistry. And it definitely wasn't the other way around, that nobody wanted to see me draw anything anymore. And you're actually good.
I'm sure it wasn't.
That was definitely not it.
Yeah. So what was this other blowout?
Yeah, Lions, Dragons. Dragons won 40-18, the biggest blowout out of all the matchups.
Biggest blowout, yeah.
Wow. Do you think, now, you wanted the Lions.
I wanted to see the matchup. I still thought the Dragons would come out on top.
Well, yeah, we knew the Dragons were going to win and move on. Yeah. But are you now a little sad? Maybe you were wrong. Maybe the Titans would have had a better chance.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a negligible advantage that they would have brought to the table, I think, at this point. I just really wanted to see Lions trying to attack dragons.
Yeah.
Which we got to see.
We got to see
it.
That's good. Yeah. So now he's seen it.
Yes.
He can sleep well tonight because he saw what he wanted to see.
We got to see it. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I think the Titans would have stood a little bit better of a chance throwing a couple lightning bolts in there. That might have knocked the Dragons a little loose, but still, same outcome. Dragons, they're definitely going to take it all the way, I believe. But we can talk about that later.
Yes.
Vikings, Polar Bears, 38-18. Vikings over the Polar Bears.
Yeah.
That was surprising, yet not surprising.
I agree. Surprising in the degree of the blowout, because, as we mentioned, nature and history kind of bears out that the polar bears are the supreme survivors in this scenario.
Right.
And also, we factor in the polar bears. We're going to take the scale here. Tallest of the bears. World record polar bear, I believe, is over 12 feet tall, standing up on its hind legs. And the fact that the bears in general had such a big showing on the other side of the bracket, I was a little surprised. But that maybe just speaks to the fear that Vikings engender in people and their destructive reputation.
Yeah, with all this info you have about the bear, you should be like the polar bear of analytics.
The polar bear.
It's like the tallest, biggest, best, but yet eventually loses because you're going to lose to me in this whole bracketology.
I am losing in the brackets, despite my analysis.
Just by a little bit, though. It is close.
Yeah.
One swing, one game, or another. We've one matchup, and it switches. So it's close. Yeah, I like the Vikings. I like what they did in the matchup. They really took it to them. They didn't wait for the polar bear to come after them. They took it right to them.
Swarmed them en masse.
Yeah, it was a good showing. They seem to have a good battle plan, if you will. Like, they know their opponent, they know how to defeat their opponent, and they just execute, and they do it flawlessly. So, going against the Tigers, I'm really interested, and I'm kind of hoping, go Vikings. Yes. Come on. Yeah. All right, Gorillas, Tigers. So,
what are you laughing
that at? Was, I don't know why I'm laughing. I just got something happened with the video just kind of shorting out for a second there.
All right,
that it just started me laughing for no reason whatsoever. Gorillas Tigers. This was the closest matchup of all four of them, 34-20. Instagram. Let me say this. Instagram for almost all day it was 11-11, tied up, and then finally it was like 13-11. But Facebook people love the Tigers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It says something about those different platforms and
it does.
The demographics.
What does it say about them?
Maybe that the Instagram people, there's kind of that aura of the Instagrammers of being the millennial artsy-fartsy bleeding heart type of getting behind the Earth Day, Jane Goodall, Save the Gorillas. That's unfortunate because the tigers are an endangered species as well. Come on, people. And face up with a gorilla, tigers did and would come out on top.
Yes, they did. I'm just realizing I am on Instagram because I posted this matchup on Instagram. So you are calling me an artsy-fartsy, bleeding heart, Jane Goodall following.
Maybe. I have Instagram as well. But
Maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
I might be calling you that.
Maybe.
That is the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Yeah. Well.
So what do you think, America? Is that what happened? Earth Day? Because gorillas are a part of the earth, but tigers aren't?
Right.
Is that why it was so close?
No.
But even it being so close, it still wasn't
close. It's still
a 14-point gap.
Yeah.
But the next closest one was, a 17-point gap with the Bears Knights.
Yeah.
That was 17. Polar Bears Vikings was 20. And then the biggest one was 22, Dragons Lions. So it was the closest, but it was still kind of a blowout.
Still kind of a demonstrative win. Yes.
Yeah, but as we start looking forward, Vikings and Tigers, that's why I think the Vikings are going to come out on top against the Tigers. Strong showing. They have a good battle plan. Fierce warriors. We've been talking them up all season long. Mm-hmm. Now, especially once the playoffs hit. And the Tigers, I just don't think they have enough in them. I don't think they have enough voter support to get them through.
I wonder, based on how the votes have gone, and maybe I just need to encourage the voters to read some good books about the deadliness of tigers.
Ones with pages.
Like The Man-Eaters of Kumeyain or No Beast So Fierce. A couple ones that I've read recently. The deadliness of tigers. They're real books.
they're real books. I don't believe that they're not real books. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I'm no longer surprised that you have a repertoire of like 17 tiger books that you can just rattle off. Like, don't forget this one. And
there's
this
another
one
third one.
by
I just can't. I think it's just called Tiger. But yeah,
that would make sense.
I think those are the three that I can remember about killer tigers that I've read.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the more I see of this,
yeah,
I guess the less surprised I am by you as a fan of tigers. And you weren't here to see it, but I'll show it to you. Earlier today on one of our Zoom calls, you had a tiger background on it.
I did.
Displayed here.
In anticipation of this conversation, yes.
See, this is what I love about you. Folks, what you see is what you get. I mean, you see him on camera with all this tiger stuff. That's him in real life. Even when the cameras are off.
Even if you didn't know that about me.
He's a tiger fanatic.
Yes.
Well, there's many people out in the world watching this for the first time. They've never met you.
That's true.
They don't know
many.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like, who is this guy? Does he really love tigers that much?
Yeah.
He does.
And it may not just be me. It's kind of the day of the tiger, if you will. I mean, number 1 NFL draft pick yesterday, as of this recording, as we're recording yesterday. Number 1 draft pick from the LSU Tigers to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Whoa.
The number 1 show on Netflix right now. Tiger King, not a sponsor, not a recommendation
Do
from
not.
what I've heard. But Tigers.
Tigers, they're on top right now.
Yes.
Tigers are trending. And that's your tiger moment.
And so my pick remains going forward, Tigers versus the Vikings. I know we're going backwards on the bracket now, but I've got to stick with them. I understand the Vikings are brutal.
Yeah.
But if we have informed voters, I'd like to think that they could see how the Tigers could match up.
So he's trying to guilt you into voting for them because that means if you don't vote for them, he thinks you're uninformed.
Perhaps. You could infer that.
But I think you're smart and you're going to do the right thing. But Tigers, they beat two different people groups, the Raiders and the Spartans. So they do have some experience in battling against humans. Mm-hmm. So I think that's helped them a little bit. But I think Gorillas took too much out of them. I think Vikings are going to take it.
Right,
it could be an upset. I think it's an upset, but I think the Vikings could take it. All right, Bears-Dragons. Bears and Dragons.
Yeah, Bears impressive. But like the Lions, I think it's going to be an interesting, fascinating matchup to see. Mm-hmm. But I don't see any way that the Dragons don't come out on top here.
Yeah, I agree. But the Danville Bears, I think that has carried them through.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people wanted to see the Knights versus Dragons matchup.
Yeah.
The epic. I mean, we could make so many movie references for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the fans wanted me to make so many movie references.
Were they just like sending you mail? Fan mail? And
it's been bonkers.
Yeah.
People have just been sending me so much. Like, talk about this movie, talk about that movie. I'm like, guys, I don't have time. Like, our show is a limited time show. So,
yeah.
And the producers screaming in my ears, they're like, move on. I can't keep talking about this.
But you know what? Right now.
But since I'm the talent of the show, I can tell the producer, I'm like, hold on, we're not going to commercial break. That's not happening. I'm talking. We don't go to commercial break, but I'm talking.
Have we ever had a commercial break?
No. Because I'm always talking.
Wow, your influence. Wow.
Because I'm always talking. That way, the producer, they never go to commercial break.
That's why, wow, okay. That's why we don't have any funding.
that might be the case.
Not been allowed to monetize.
That's true. That's true. Because a lot of people, like Disney Plus, has been clamoring to sponsor us.
Wow.
But I'm like, sorry, I don't break for commercials.
Yes.
Bears, Dragons. Dragons are going to come out on top. Go Dragons. Go Dragons.
So we agree on that. Dragons. So it's going to be either Dragons, Vikings, or Dragons, Tigers. That's our expectation.
That is our guess.
And that distinction determines really our bracket victory or not between you and I. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be. Well, I don't know, because if Dragons move on, Tigers move on, it'll come down to that final game.
True.
Because I'm ahead of you right now in the brackets.
True.
So
it comes down to the Tigers.
Yeah, really just the Tigers. If they end up losing at any point, then I think I come out on top in the brackets here.
So I guess that might influence the voters if they really want to vote for you having a victory, or they want to vote against me or vice versa. Who knows? That might influence.
Because nobody wants to vote for you. They're either voting for me or against
me.
you.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
I guess
I'd just rather
out.
you vote for what makes sense. Vote for logic and rationale.
Talk about bleeding heart. Oh my goodness.
No, I'm very logical.
Just vote for.
You vote. Yeah.
That's true. I am.
Yeah.
Vote for your heart.
Vote for your heart.
Yeah. But I do want to see the Vikings Dragons. Think about how much I could talk about How to Train Your Dragon.
They would have had a prophetic voice. Yes.
Oh man.
How much can you talk about How to Train Your Dragon?
1, 2, or 3, or the TV series.
Which one?
You pick. Yeah. I could go on and on, because those are some good movies.
They're good movies.
Those are ones I could watch over and over again.
Incidentally, not on Disney Plus.
Huh, that's true. I wonder if I'm allowed to mention them. Since Disney Plus is trying to sponsor it.
Yeah.
I probably should. We'll see. Okay, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give our shout out. Shout out to the Zillmans. The Zillman family. I got a bunch of their brackets right here. They sent them in at the beginning of the Bracketology. I got 5 of them at least. And shout out for participating, filling them out.
At least, or actually, like 5 exactly.
5 exactly.
Okay.
When we get up to numbers this high, it's just like, well, ish works. So congratulations for sending them in. You guys are definitely super fans, but you're not very good at this. So we got Matt and Grace all the way up in Ames.
Wow.
I mean, they are a distant following group. You guys are wonderful people. Terrible at picking mascots.
Mascot picking?
It is not your thing. You already have one of them, doesn't have anybody left in the Final Four. End up with 57 points. How we score it, in case the fans don't know: 1 point for the first round win, 3 points, 5, 7, 9, 11. So it keeps going up from there. So 57 for one of these.
You're just going to trash them all on TV after, while you're giving them a shout out? Is that how the shout outs work?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a thanks for participating, but better luck next year. I don't know. Erin Zillman, actually, is she the best out of the Zillman family? 76. Not bad. That's pretty good. Doesn't have anybody else left except Tigers in the Final Four, so that's pretty decent. A lot better than your brother Ben, who ended up with 34 points.
He must have voted with his heart.
No, I voted with my heart. I'm up to like 106. It's like, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So, but he had nobody in the third round. Nobody.
Wow.
He had Lumberjacks going all the way.
I think they're shutting off this video right now.
They might be. Yeah. Guess what? They're already out of the tournament anyway, so it's not like any of this matters for them because they don't have anybody left to watch play. And then the worst of the worst. I mean, awful. This is
lightning coming
so
down.
Bad. This is so bad.
Don't include me on your adding.
Sarah Zillman, what were you thinking? Had kangaroos going all the way.
All the way, like finals.
All the way. Ended up with 23 points. I got that in the first round, 23 points. So she got total. She had 2 people make it to the third round. Had 2 there, the Panthers and Huskies. That was it. How can you only get 2 right out of those? Even by guessing, you usually can't get that much wrong. What?
There's some very unique approaches, it seems. Yes.
Yeah. So bad. I was looking, I was like, could this even be real, or is this like a prank? I thought it was a prank.
I'm refraining from adding commentary to your public scathing of people because I want to keep my friends.
That's because you want them to vote for you, don't you?
Well, maybe that too. That wouldn't be a bad thing.
You know what? This was worth it, I think. I think this is worth it. But thanks for sending in your brackets. If you filled out a bracket, I think there's a couple more that might have sent them in. I can't remember, so long ago. Send them in to me. Let me know how you're doing. Because after this, if you're not doing well, I'm sure you're going to want me to know.
I'm sure they're going to get a lot of submissions. I'm sure.
A lot. Yeah, so thanks for participating. What we're going to do is this week, Monday and Tuesday, we are going to have the voting for Vikings, Tigers, and Bears, Dragons, 1 vote each day. And then on Wednesday, we're going to put up a video to talk about the finals matchup. And then you can vote on the finals on Thursday, and then we'll film and put up our closing video. The epic, most awesome video that you have ever seen will go up next Sunday night to finish it out.
Wow, how are we going to make that happen?
With our general awesomeness. Okay. We'll be there.
It's a tall order. I'm just
I'm all about fulfilling tall orders.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Excited to. The top definitely does not match the shorts, and not as fancy.
No,
those hairy legs on the table. Thanks for watching. I don't know why you do, but you're there, and I appreciate it. Kyle appreciates it. We're having fun, and it all comes to an end next Sunday. No fun will be had after next Sunday.
No fun.
So enjoy it while you can, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. That's when the music comes on.
So we end up with, should be like